You found it. Your home for the best content on your favorite team, Fighting Tigers of LSU. Do us a favor. Subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments below. Be sure to smash that like button. All right, y'all, LSU today, by now you probably heard, they have announced a first of its kind policy for college football. Similar to what we learned a week ago with the Superdome and New Orleans with the Saints, Tiger Stadium is going to require proof of vaccination for admission this year. You either need to provide your proof of vaccination or a negative PCR test from 72 hours, within 72 hours prior to kickoff. I don't care about making this a political conversation. I don't care your thoughts. Virus, no virus, vaccine, no vaccine. I don't care. Go have that debate on Facebook and yell at each other because that's what people do on Facebook. The reality of this is I'm curious. So a couple of things. I did an interview just a bit ago on a radio station in South Carolina, and they asked me, why was LSU so progressive with this, and why were they at the forefront? For me, I think the answer is very easy. LSU, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, like every other city and state in the country, were devastated last year by quarantine. When we shut down our nation, so many things, lives were affected. And we're never doing it again. Like, we're not going to shut down again. We're seeing COVID rates, hospitalization rates higher now than they were at any point last year. And we're not shutting down because we can't shut down again. But what happened a year ago also is LSU, like so many others, took a bath financially. I mean, LSU ran at about an $80 million budget shortfall a year ago. That is a massive number. I mean, I can quantify it for you by saying 80 million, but it's hard to even qualify it to make you understand just how significant that is. So you have this massive budgetary shortfall, and you just can't walk down that road again. So you've got to do whatever you can to ensure that you have 100,000 people able to come into Tiger Stadium. You got to ensure that you're not canceling or forfeiting games because your players test positive and you have all this contact tracing. That's why you're seeing the necessity of proof of vaccination. And if this is what they're doing, this is the conversation we had a week ago with the Saints. And it's a part of the reason why when I decided to get vaccinated a month ago, whatever it was, I told you there was two reasons. It was my son, and ultimately I'm planning to go to LA, and I wanted to make sure I was able to get on a plane and fly to LA and go into the Rose Bowl because I thought a policy like this could be coming in Los Angeles. And I want to go see that game. So those were my reasons why. And maybe this will be the why for some of you that aren't already. And if you choose not to go, that's totally your prerogative. But I think everyone that's in a position like this is, like LSU, I should say, is trying to leverage whatever influence they can to, I don't want to say force people to get vaccinated, but make people decide and ultimately decide what's your why. The really interesting thing as part of the Saints release last week when people asked for refunds is that there were fewer than 200 ticket holders that asked for a refund. So I don't think you're going to see that. Now, you may see people not go or choose to sell their tickets on the secondary market or whatever, but I think ultimately this was a step LSU felt like it had to take financially to make sure. I mean, yes, there's the need to protect the community and all the things that everybody's saying, which are all the right politically correct things to say. And I'm not saying that those are disingenuous, but there is a financially rooted piece of this decision that is undeniable. And it's why you are seeing so much of the push to get vaccinated. And I think because, so I was also asked, might other team, programs do the same? Maybe, But I also know that Louisiana is one of the lowest vaccinated states, and so something like this may be deemed more necessary than a place where they have higher vaccination rates. If vaccination rates in Louisiana were much higher than they are right now, this might not be necessary, but it's sort of the hand that they're dealt. So, I will be very curious to know if there are people who are going to choose, I'm sure there will be some, who choose not to attend as opposed to getting vaccinated. But from LSU's perspective, it's all about having a season and having Tiger Stadium at capacity for every one of their home games. That's the impetus here. And taking this step is going to allow them to be one step closer to that. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.